acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We already got a couple people on Instagram. Addicted Official, welcome. And on the road to recovery, welcome. I'm doing this a little late, but what I do is a daily reflection each day. I usually try and follow the daily reflection itself, and we just kind of talk about it. Give me guys 1 second. Apologize. Yes, I need to take a med. Sorry about that, guys. It's a tummy med. Good old Zofran. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. And yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out. Today we're gonna talk about the suggested how suggested the steps really are, right? Hey, Jill, I was waiting on you. Jill knows why I was waiting on her. So I get into something a little personal here, guys. Right. And I hope Jill doesn't mind. I'm sorry, guys. My tummy hurts right now. My tummy hurts too. It happens. Old people stuff, right? So Jill has 4 years today. Now, we're going to do a round of applause on that. And I'm very proud of her. This has been a tough fucking year for her. And why am I going to talk about this? Because Jill and I are a great example of how things can work in AA. How sometimes you can even go through some shit together, not talk for a little bit, but still keep enough respect there to be able to go back and fix that problem. All right. Hey, Michael. Good to see you, dude. So, Jill, I'm really fucking proud of you. I'm not going to get into Jill's personal stuff. That's for her. If you want to hear about it, go to the 5:30 meeting in Mountain View. But what I wanted to show is, Jill and I have been through our stuff together. And it was not easy. But was it worth it? Absolutely. Every second of it. Every time we open our mouths and help other people, every time we do something, it means something. Okay? And there are people that are watching. There are people out there that are watching. And they want to see how it goes, and they're going to follow that example, right? And that's a pretty good segue into suggested steps. I think it's a great leeway, because right there we're talking about the basics of the program: honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And we know that these things are indispensable. That means it never runs out. That means that the supply is endless. And I was talking to my sponsee yesterday, and I let him know willingness is never going to not be an option. You're going to continue to use it throughout your life. So utilize it, use it for what it is, being willing. It could take you, just being willing can take you a lot further than you think. What I love about willingness also is it can bring you relief. See, a lot of these steps should bring you relief and hope, because you don't need to be sitting around all day fucking going crazy. That's not fair, man. It's uncool, and it's not fair to you. Not fair to me. It's not fair to anybody, man. I don't wish it on anybody. I'm not saying I haven't, but I don't do that anymore. Let's get to see what Daily Reflections has to say. So happy birthday, Jill. I love you. And I will see you at 5:30. December 1st, suggested steps. Oh, and I have a shirt for you. I figured that would be my birthday present because I'm broke. So, suggested steps. Our 12th step also says that as a result of practicing all the steps, we have each found something called a spiritual awakening. AA's manner of making ready to receive this gift lies in the practice of the 12 steps of the program. All right. So if you go back, and you can actually get a copy of it for like $5 right now, I think, which is the original manuscript of AA, of the big book, which was originally called A Way Out, right? But it turned out there were like 10 other ways out, so they changed it to Alcoholics Anonymous. Well, and that's what it became. That's how that started. So if you look at those, it isn't so nice. They aren't so nice about it. It isn't, oh, we highly recommend you do this. No, it pretty much says if you don't do this shit, you're dead. You're dead. Period. You know, some of the things that we actually read in the big book, let's go to Dr. Bob's story. Okay. Because I don't believe in reading the first 164 pages. I believe in reading the first 181. Right? And in Dr. Bob's story, when he is talking to Dr. Young, I didn't think of it till now. So, give me a second here. All right. We entered her house at exactly 5 o'clock. Let's do this. About this time, a lady called up my wife. This isn't the Dr. Young part, though. And what did Dr. Young, can you imagine going to a doctor and for them to tell you that, you know, a renowned doctor like Dr. Young, only for them to tell you that you are of a hopeless variety and that there's nothing they can do for you? That has got to be one of the hardest hitting things. And I can't find it right now, guys. I'm sorry. Let's just read this part. The question which might naturally come into your mind would be, what did the man do or say that was different from what the others had done or said? So at this point, Dr. Bob is sober. He's going to be sober for the rest of his life until 1950. It must be remembered that I had a great deal and talked to everyone who knew or thought they knew anything about the subject of alcoholism. But this was a man who had experienced many years of frightful drinking, who had had most of the drunkard's experience known to man, but had been cured by the very means I've been trying to employ. That is to say, about the spiritual approach. I want to notice the word cured is in there. Yeah, so we got to take these thought processes for what they are. At that time, that would be a cure for them. Okay, we discovered a little bit more. It wasn't really a cure. What it is a daily reprieve. And what we become cured of is the sanity. You'll never be able to drink like a normal person. That's just not going to happen. Think about it. Let's say they came out with a drug today that would help you drink, quote unquote, normally. I would get drunk as fuck. My mind can't make that turn. It doesn't know how. Nor do I even care about it anymore. I don't. The obsession has been gone for a long time. He gave me information about the subject of alcoholism, which was undoubtedly helpful. Of far more importance was the fact that he was the first living human with whom I had ever talked, who knew what he was talking about in regard to alcoholism from actual experience. In other words, he talked my language. And that is what this big book is all about, okay? He knew all the answers, and certainly not because he had picked them up in this reading, okay? And he's talking about Bill W. Now, Bill W. was a great man, okay? But he was not a saint, and he did not write the big book. But how the big book is written and the verbiage that it works with and the things like that is him. And what he did is he took the Bible and put it in and grabbed 99 other people and made a book called A Bible for Dummies for me. All right. This is the Bible, from what I know. So when your life is on the line and a doctor, let's say, you have a cold. So you go to a doctor, he gives you medicine. Do you not take it? All right. But a cold doesn't come with things like deception and denial. And it's kind of hard to deny when you have a cold. Anyway, that'd be a different subject to get into. So I remember my sponsor's answer when I told him the steps were suggested. He replied that they are suggested in the same way that if you were to jump out an airplane with a parachute, it is suggested that you pull the ripcord to save your life. Thank you for putting those in. And see, there again, putting things into words that I understand. Hi, David. Good to see you. Good afternoon. So are you going to pull the ripcord when you jump out? Right? Well, no, I'm just going to have faith. Faith without works is dead. You got to pull the ripcord, or you're dead. Right? It's like being pregnant. You're either alcoholic or you're not. There's no in-betweens with this shit. You're either in recovery or you're not. There is no, in that situation, there isn't really much gray. Okay? That's a kind of a black or white. Although you'll find you'll deal with grays in your area, and you will learn to start to love the gray area. Right? Because there's serenity and there's peace there. That's where sometimes there's things going on in this house and I'm just sitting there going, okay. And they're like, okay, what do I do? But I'm able to settle down and find my serenity so that I can work through that and still be involved with the conversation, even if it might be an emotional conversation. Now, is it that way all the time? No. But on those days, then I know that it's going on and I'm aware, then I make sure that I put myself in situations where I'm not going to hurt other people if I'm in a mood, right? If I'm in a really bad mood and I'm just and I'm getting out of it, I stay away from people till I'm out of it. If I'm not able to, then I will reach out to somebody that will let me, go off or talk about what I need to talk about. Because a lot of times I start talking and my answers start coming right out of my mouth. Okay. And how does that happen? Because I've done it over and over and over again. What I've done is I've taken my muscle memory and I've changed it. Okay. We actually have a doctor coming on. She's going to talk about this stuff. Okay. The synapses, when we are born, our synapses literally go the wrong way. Right. And I was just, who I don't remember the name of the guy, but it was something that I posted a little while ago about how when we were young, we don't feel like we're worthy. And so we try and prove our worthiness for the rest of our lives by being nice to people and not sharing our feelings. And what that does is it builds up inside of ourselves and it can do things to you. It can give you a heart attack. It can give you a stroke. It can cause other diseases in your body. Stress can do that. Beating the crap out of yourself all the time can do that to you. Because what happens is then your brain starts to believe it. Then what's it going to do? It's going to do that. And you're going to get exactly what you asked for. Good, bad, or indifferent. I don't think it understands. It just does. I practiced the 12 steps. If I wanted to save my... he pointed out that it was suggested I practice the 12 steps if I wanted to save my life. Yeah. And we have to make it a suggestion because you'll have to. Yeah, whatever. Don't talk to me. Right? That's where we can come in. We're different. See, we've done all the drunkard stuff. We've been there. We know what it's like. We know when you say something like, I don't understand why, we get that. We get that. We understand the frustration. But more than anything, we understand the loneliness. That's the big one. knowing that there are other people that felt like I did. Well, now I don't feel so alone anymore, right? And now I feel like I can speak my truth a little bit more. Because let's face it, men sharing their feelings is just not a big thing. I had to, there's people out there that men need to blah, blah, blah. Then you need to create spaces for that. There's a podcast called Man Enough. I keep telling mine to put me on it. They have a lot of women on. Okay. Why? Because they can't find, it's hard to do, which is why I do this. See, I'm in a position where it doesn't matter. I can do this because there's not anything that, there's no leverage to be used. That's not why we're here. Right. And in this arena, there are people that want to come and listen. There's not people, oh, Dion's live. I hate that guy. I'm going to go listen. Doesn't work that way. Right. So that way I'm not causing more confusion than harmony. It's not our job. Okay. If you're in a situation and you are causing more confusion than harmony, then you're doing something wrong. So I try to remember daily that I have a whole program of recovery based on the 12 step on all 12 of the suggested steps. Right. But even in there, it's like, we suggest that you do this, but if you don't, you're dead. So we're trying to say, hey, this is a pretty serious problem, but we're kind of roundabout. Yeah. Right? We're not being tricky. You're finally meeting a person that you can no longer bullshit. And they know that. Right? Remember when you finally met that person, you just knew you couldn't bullshit. A little bit of fear came up, didn't it? Now you're getting to the point where you're the person that you don't try and pull bullshit on. Right? All right, guys. Yeah, suggestions are subtle commands. Very good. Thank you. All right. Little dance for you guys. That'll be it for today for the daily reflections. Oh, Jackie just showed up. Hey, Jackie, I was just finishing up. I'm sorry, hon. All right, guys. I love you. Have a day. Let's peace out. I love you and have a day.